Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this beautiful morning. You guys, I wanted to talk about Orange Mound Quette. But before we talk about Orange Mound Quette, I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm, okay? And if you haven't subscribed, do make sure you comment, okay? Because I have so many videos that I want to do today because I want to people been emailing me about some things and I'm gonna put my 2 cents in on what I think on quite a few situations, more than just the Dolph's case also. Um and surrounding the Dolph situation, okay? Um, but yeah, make sure you comment, okay? Because your comments help the video also. I do like to communicate with you guys, especially, when you talk with some sense, okay? And my subscribers do talk with sense. Sometimes we get trolls, child. We just roll right on over them. We be rolling over them, child. We don't be worried about the trolls. But I wanted to talk about Orange Mound Quet, okay? As I was sitting here and this is the third time I try to do this video because my daughter and my grandbaby spent the night because they're sick. Now I let my daughter sleep basically while I stayed up with my grandbaby child. We partied all night, and then she was up looking at me in my face early this morning. Like when my eyes opened, her eyes was wide open, looking right at me, grinning. I was like, "Oh Lord, now they gone." I said, "God, that's a small blessing for today. They gone on back home, okay?" But I wanted to talk about Orange Mound Quit, the new lawyer. Of course, we talked about as a matter of fact, I remember breaking the story that Orange Mound Quit back in January had declared himself indigent. And then shortly after that, I was told by a credible source that Orange Mound Quit had some lawyers, and I talked about that back in March of what the 18th. I did a video. Make sure you go look at it. That Orange Mound Quit had gotten some lawyers from out of Atlanta. In that video, I said I didn't know if they was going to have those lawyers to come in up under Massey or what, but I didn't know how they was gonna do that because it was a lot of stuff going on with that as it relates to Massey. Um, that I even at that I know about that of course I can't speak about at this point. But a lot of people want to know how he's gotten another high profile attorney, and in listening to the news they was talking about how he was not licensed. I know there are reciprocity laws, because even with me being an investigator with reciprocity laws, I'm able to go into certain states, and there are some things that we have to do, of course. And if anybody, even with a real estate agent and things of that nature, there are reciprocity laws. I went to real estate school, so I know that. And with certain states like Louisiana, Arkansas, states like that, you could just pay to get you could just pay and get a license. You don't have to necessarily take the test. Um, you don't have to necessarily take the test because the laws are so similar. You just apply, pay a fee, and they'll send you a license for that certain state. Like I said, even with me being an investigator, there are certain states that we can go in for a couple weeks. Then after that, because there are reciprocity laws, if we don't get our situation straight with that, we have to work with another investigator in that state. Okay. Um, but so with I'm hearing that this Atlanta attorney that I told y'all about, and it's a team of them that I told you all about last month, is one of he represented Little Dirk, and he's a high profile attorney. Now, people wanted to know how those attorneys are being paid for. Um, they tend to think that CMG at this point is paying for his attorneys. I gotta say, I don't believe that at this point that CMG is paying for the new attorneys. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't believe that they are at this point. I do believe that they was paying for Massey, and this is in my opinion, just in my opinion. I don't think that Orange Mound Quette trusted Massey. I don't think that Orange Mound Quette trusted Massey because Massey was, I believe, being paid for by some people within CMG's camp, and Massey was going to do what was in the best interest of CMG. Now, and this is just in my opinion. Now, I do believe that Orange Mound Quette, there are some things that Orange Mound Quette had wanted to do, um, and he could not do that with Massey being the attorney, right? Because even though there's a attorney client confidentiality and privileges and all of that, of course, I don't think he trusted to tell Massey a whole lot of stuff because it would not have been confidential. uh I think Massey would have reported, he felt Massey would have reported back to certain people. Okay, so what am I getting at? I think he got rid of an attorney that was being paid, by them or had been recommended by them. And this is just in my opinion, and got those Atlanta attorneys, got an attorney outside of um Memphis. Okay. Um, yeah, and got some attorneys outside of Memphis. Um, for his case. Okay, for his case. Um, why do I think he did that? I think Orange Mound Quette has a problem with Massey may have been put there to get him to plead out and not fight the mere fact that they're saying that he was the mastermind. We know that Orange Mound Quette was not the mastermind. Do I think he played a part? Yeah. But I think he was brought in and brought to the table to help to do some things, right? Um Hold on one second. I want to um let me see. Yeah. I think he was brought to the table to help to comprise some the situation, but I don't think that he was the mastermind. Okay. The thing about it, as I've always said from the very beginning, that since he was arrested, Orange Mound Quette knows even more than um straight drop and maybe teasy. But I think that because Orange Mound Quette has been around the longest, he can touch the golden egg. He can bring down the golden goose, and we all know who that is. I don't think TZ and them would be able to touch that. I don't think that they had been around long enough to be able to get that far. Um, but I do think that Orange Mound Quette had, you know. I think Orange Mound Quette, like I said, at this point, if you look at him, he's afraid. And I'm sure some more people are afraid too because Orange Mound Quette is not going to, like I said, he has an issue with them saying that he sat at a table and came up with this idea of killing young Dolph. Me personally, I mean I would have an issue with it too because Orange Mound Quette didn't have the money to pay for a hit, I don't believe, and he didn't have I don't he the idea, he did not have a history of trying to take young Dolph out as far as we know, right? We know where all of that came from, and not and if he was involved in the other attempts on young Dolph's life, it is because he was paid and brought in, right? So I think Orange Mound Quette is doing a smart thing because Orange Mound Quette trying to save his own life because Orange Mound Quette knows at some point, as time goes on and more start to come out, if he don't get this straight from the beginning, he'll probably be looking at the death penalty, right? He's old enough to understand how these dudes work, and his mind is not working like those other young dudes where they feel like they need to have a jacket on their back of not snitching. That's what the older dudes kind of put into their heads so that they can manipulate them. Young nigga, you ain't no snitch. They want their jacket on their back. Why? Because they want to say that to them so they can go do life. Orange Mound Quette is a little older. He's in his 40s, so he's lived a little longer, and he ain't into taking charges. Okay, that he didn't, he got enough hanging over his head as far as this young dog situation. Do I think he was involved? Absolutely. But I think he was brought in, okay? And I think he's getting some attorneys that he can trust and be able to tell what really happened, also minimize maybe his situation. I think Orange Mound Quette wants to work with the prosecutors, and he's got to have an attorney that he can trust from out of the state, because that's not going to where what he's saying is not going to get back to any of the lawyers in Memphis that possibly could be paid off or um by CMG and things of that nature. Okay. Especially not Massey. I know they're saying that there was a blow up, but I there have been problems there. Like I said, I don't believe that he trusted him. So at this point, do I believe? I went all around the world to say this. Do I believe that CMG is paying for his lawyer? Um, and this is just in my opinion. I don't believe it. I think Orange Mound Quette received some type of payments, from this young dog situation. And he was already out in the streets, and so I think he stacked up because he knew when Cornelius and Straight Drop was arrested, because I heard when they were arrested, well, when they were indicted, especially Orange Mound Quette said, "Man, I sure hope they don't get down there and start talking." Okay, so you can only imagine how much recordings and stuff that the police got. They've been, and he said that early on, I believe, around the time, because Cornelius was arrested about 2.5 weeks after Young Doc was assassinated, and then after that, Straight Drop was indicted around the 17th of December 2021. So when Chief Davis said it's been fast moving, especially if the police know he said, I sure hope they don't get down there and start talking. So y'all can only imagine that 200,000 pages plus, you can only imagine what they have. And I think at this point, I think Massey probably was trying to get him to plead out, maybe, and to plead out so that he could take that charge and not bring anybody else that has not been indicted yet down. Okay. But I don't think Orange Mound Quette, in my opinion, had wanted to do that. He don't want to do that because there's no telling what else is going to come out, and he don't want to he want to, maybe he want to look at getting out in 25 years or in 20 years or something like that. Okay. And I'm sure he knows enough to get out in that amount of time. Okay. Mark my words on that one. Okay. So definitely a interesting situation. But do I think that CMG is paying for these Atlanta attorneys? I don't believe that. I believe Quette and some of his tribe, and when I say tribe, like the people closest to him. Okay, and I don't believe that it's CMG is paying for those attorneys, because those attorneys was brought in because I believe the attorney that CMG was paying for, he didn't trust. Okay. And so, like I said, this is going to be interesting, you guys. Um, it's going to be interesting. Um, we're going to see the route that he's going to go. But Quette and Jamarcus were charge partners, I thought, at some point. And they are down there together. I do know that Orange Mound Quette is in high profile custody. I don't know if Jamarcus is. I think Jamarcus had on a gray uniform, his dress out uniform in the jail. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's in high profile. I do know that Orange Mound Quette is in isolation. Orange Mound Quette, this stuff had been weighing on Orange Mound Quette for a long time, especially when that situation happened to his daughter. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. Um, but I think Orange Mound. I remember when I told you when I got on when they first went and got Orange Mound Quette when they got the indictment signed, and somebody texted me and said we got him right. We just arrested him. Um, and then when I talked to them later, they said his energy, the energy was different. Okay. His energy was different. And I said that from the start. If you go back and look at some of my videos, I said, I was told Orange Mound Quette's energy was different, which is why I was reluctant when people was asking me, who is it? I said, somebody was just indicted. I wanted to wait to see if they was going to put that into the atmosphere, right? Because somebody else has been arrested and that name is not being released yet, right? And I wanted to wait to see if what since his energy was different, if how this was going to be. But I mean, his energy was different, you know. And I'm hearing that he expressed that he knew because that this would happen because he knew because they had already been going back, talking to Orange, questioning him, you know um that was not the first time. And I do believe I was told that one of those times that they questioned him, one of those last times they told him that they just about had what they needed, and when he saw them again, one of these times when you see us again, we're going to come back and we're going to be able to take you. We're going to have that indictment. And that is exactly what happened. So, y'all, I don't know. I don't believe that CMG is paying for this attorney. I don't. I believe that he has parted his ways at this point with CMG. He got away from Massey because Massey was a CMG attorney because he didn't want whatever it is that he wants to share with his attorneys that would ultimately share some situations with the prosecutors to be leaked to certain people. That's what I think, okay? But hey, who am I? I'm just the person that whenever I've said something, it came to pass, okay? Don't be getting sensitive, child. I never said nobody else didn't have vital information. People be getting so crazy when somebody say that they have vital information. I think about this young Doss case, and it's a lot of people that I've looked at their stuff and I would go, wow, they're a little bit on point. But I can't understand why it has. I mean, because once you cross the line with me, I mean, there could never be any that we can't nothing could ever be reconciled, especially if you poke at me, because I always come in peace, you know. But this situation with young Dolph, there have been people that, they could be hitting on some stuff sometimes, but I don't think it helps to try and discredit folks unless they talking about a bunch of bullshit. Talking about young Dolph mama them and stuff went in the shop and killed him. I don't stuff like that. I don't my makes my nerves and stuff real bad. I don't entertain or have time for. Right. What I'd like to do is stick to the right path. And the right path says that there is a consistent pattern that led up to his death. And the truth of the matter is Key Glock them ain't had nothing to do with that, right? All you have to do is document it, where the consistent pattern came from. So, if it walks like a snake and crawls like a snake, it ain't no damn barracuda. Okay. That's not how I live my life. Right. I don't do that just because I don't like somebody. Okay. But, you know, who do I think is paying for it? I believe that Orange Mound Quit had money stashed, and I think he got some more people that is not affiliated with CMG that is helping him. I do. CMG could be paying for it, but I believe that Massey was let go because Massey is affiliated with CMG. And Orange Mound Quit has a issue, okay, with Orange Mound Quit has a issue with being accused of being the mastermind, and I don't blame him, because he could change at any moment, especially because everything ain't it's gonna be a lot of shit to come out. He could easily be looking at the death penalty, and he knows that at some point when more stuff starts to come out. I don't blame him. I get that jacket off my back too. Why should I have to go to the death chamber just to be known as somebody that didn't snitch? I mean, you'll be dead. I mean, that death penalty ain't nothing nice. Just so everybody else can stay out. Orange Mountain Quet could have had lived without being dead or alive. That's what I believe. I don't believe that he necessarily wanted to come to the table to get him out the way. He didn't have no reason to. I believe he came to the table because he was money hungry. That's what's got his ass in this situation right now. Okay. So he might have, talked about, we can get this little hitter straight draw, blah, blah, blah. But of course, there was already other people that was at the table that could have easily thought about straight drop, like his gang leader. Okay. So I don't blame Orange Mound Quit. They was wrong for what they did to Dolph, but if I can't let you put a jacket on my back that I didn't do it. I'm already facing a serious situation, so you could stay out and floss and flex. Uh-uh. But y'all know they'll get in here and say, but you ain't in the streets. No, I ain't never been no alley cat. You know what I mean? My mama didn't let me run the streets. I'm hood because I grew up in the hood. That's why I can cuss so good. I mean, we fought. I fight a nigga now. But we had limits. We did have a regards for life. It's just that when we got into it, you in my space, I'm gonna push you. I don't let people get in my space right now. I'll say, please step back. Please step back, because you really a threat to me. And I got natural reflexes. And when you in an aggressive manner, please don't touch me, because you're gonna get slapped. I mean, I know how I am. That's the reason why I turn my back on people. And I'll say, do not follow me. Do not walk up on me in an aggressive manner. I had a cousin did that recently. I knocked the hell out of him because he was drunk and showing out. Okay. It's just one of those natural reflexes when you grow up in the hood. You don't get in my space. But now people are so pitiful, and he was showing out with all of us, child. He was drunk as hell. He was showing out at the family outing, and we whooped his ass too. Okay. And we love him too. But anyways, yeah, so but people now don't have no regards for life. We could take a whooping, we could win some, lose some, and then we would live to see another day, right? You got brothers and sisters now, when they get to fighting, they shooting and stabbing each other. That's crazy. My cousin never would have did that. He never would have. He got ready to hit me back, and he probably would have knocked the hell out of me if my other cousins had not grabbed him. And we stood. The next day, he was talking about his back and stuff was hurting. We did him so bad. But anyways, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you so much. But do I think Orange Mound Quit um Orange Mound Quette's new lawyer. Who's paying for Orange Mound Quette's new lawyer? Do I think that CMG is paying for the new lawyer? I don't. I think that somebody within CMG's camp was paying for Massey, was helping to pay for Massey. And then something went on because he declared himself indigent. And it's a whole lot of stuff went on with that, y'all. And I just think Orange Mound Quette didn't trust Massey because Orange Mound Quette is ready to do something else. I think he's on another path, and his mind has been on another path, but he's just been, he was scared. So I mean, that's what I think. I could be wrong though. Some of the people that's saying that they think CMG paying for it, I mean, they could be right. I don't know, but I just based on what I know, I don't believe it. I don't believe that they're paying at this point. I don't believe it. Okay. But anyways, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you so much, all of your support, all of your emails, all of your kind words. I know that I'm the host of the channel, but my subscribers, you all make the channel what it is. It would not be what it is if it was not for you. So I have to say that it's mainly more you all's channel than it is mine, because you make it what it is. And I appreciate that so much. Okay. Because I couldn't do this without the support of you all. Okay. Lord, my daughter about to run me crazy. All right, you guys, I'll talk with you later.